City Press to elaborate and lunga, but I know you want me. So I'll still come, and then they'll come. The point I want to raise is lessons learned. We obviously have learned that we are in uncharted waters. That's a fact. And that when you are in a coalition, you've got to engage all the time. And that's what the ANC picks up from this. The other lesson for us is that, which is uncharted waters, it's correct that the budget would have been presented and the ANC would have passed the budget by now. And in this particular instance, it means we must engage with the budget process, with political parties and everybody, because the budget is an important political tool. Local government, provincial government, and national. And the worst of all, when you have reduced the majority, there will always be others who want a stake in the budget for their constituencies. For instance, if you interrogate the DA's perspective about them saying they represent the poor, you will realize there's no poor in their opposition of the VAT increase. It's their constituency, which is largely middle straight. Okay? But nobody wants an increase of budget. Nobody. Especially VAT, because it is regressive. So there are lessons to be learned in terms of that. You call it a debacle. We call it a point of difference among political parties, which was handled very well through our democratic processes, our legislature, and all of that, properly to the end. Calls for minister to resign. Ministers resign for committing major things. And I will ask a question: what did the Minister of Finance commit? Except the fact that the proposals that he brought to the fore were disputed, particularly around the VAT increase. And if you were to debate the budget in totality, you will realize that it's a good budget. And the minister was able to go backwards and actually do the right thing in terms of the processes that were actually followed. We are not going to have a situation, as much as it is the president's prerogative to have a weekend special again in our country. We are stabilizing the country, and at the same time, we will take cogent and informed decisions. It can't be when we are faced with a big challenge like the budget debacle and impasse, the first resolution is to dismiss the minister. And those who are doing so and calling for the minister to go is political posturing. The same as the question of going to court was completely unnecessary, because all matters could have been settled outside court. And the question we ask to the DA is that, how are you going to contend with the budget that you are in government that you did not support, if the budget were to be implemented? Of course, it will call into question morally their continued participation in the GNU, because you can't be in the GNU to support a budget that you don't agree with. To us, it's not a make or break, it's a principled question that any political party that participates in the GNU will have to answer. The ANC is not in a hurry to dismiss people from the GNU, neither are we afraid about their presence. And we have never distorted nor seek to sugarcoat what GNU is. GNU is not a melting pot of political parties. It will continue to have these features of parties who are within it but disagree on policy issues, and that includes the DA. They'll continue to push for that. Even if you replace the DA, doesn't mean that the replacement is going to be aligned to the ANC. Those political parties are opposed to us. And then it doesn't mean that if you were to say go away and then the other party must come in, you can call them by names. They are not going to come there and change their identity and become African National Congress. Except one party that claims that it is ANC. It is on the path of winning back the ANC through the back door, led by one old man in this country. But the rest are not sharing the same perspective with the ANC. You say that the minister caused a mess. He didn't cause a mess. We went, for the first time, I went with Mahlenge to Parliament, and we were told right on the doorstep, like all of you, that the budget has been postponed because we need more time to negotiate and to engage with the budget. And the minister was ready to present the budget, and so that had to be reversed. And by the way, other political parties, shame, they didn't provide anything in relation to the content of the budget. Those who are in opposition today and who went to court, except to say replace this one and then we can talk. Political parties that we negotiated and engaged with the budget. And then engaged with the budget did not come with conditions that we want leadership in the GNU. And I had some sweeping statement that we promised people positions. It's not correct. People argued their case in relation to the VAT increase. The backdoor austerity was addressed. SRD grant was addressed. Marriage, why don't we get out of it? We don't have a marriage with anyone. We don't have a marriage with the DA or any other political party. That is why anytime if they want to walk away, they can. The DA can walk away, any political party in the GNU can. And then we will then address the question of what happens when they've left. Do we lock the doors and then we say that they've gone and therefore let's see for ourselves? It doesn't work like that. So there's no marriage there. If there was a marriage wreck and all of that, it will mean that in terms of the statement of intent, we have agreed that we will not oppose each other. That's not correct. The DA, albeit incorrect, they're trying to do and play a role of being in government and being in opposition. They are finding it difficult to negotiate the two. That's what they are doing as a political party, and all the time the DA is opposed to something, it represents their colors, their ideology, who they are. That's why they are opposed to employment equity. Why are you surprised? We have said that during the election campaign, and it's for everybody and South Africans to see them for who they are. But for the constituency that they represent, that believes that they do the right thing, they will continue to support them. And the expression of that voice of the DA is through the media. That project that the DA, for instance, is doing the right thing and at the same time is representing the poor. You must go deeper and ask them, in this VAT increase, which poor are you representing and how? They wouldn't actually explain that to you. We are scathing against the DA. We are not scathing against the DA. We are presenting you with facts. And I wish to repeat this point. When the fiscal framework was tabled, you did not pay attention to this point. I wish to repeat it. The committee recommends that alternative revenue proposals and expenditure savings to balance the 28 billion shortfall, which must effectively suspend the proposed increases, be finalized and submitted by the committee to process within 30 days for consideration and adoption of the report by the House. And that is what the ANC supported in terms of the budget framework. So this notion that the courts were of assistance, which is an out-of-court settlement, again, which was formalized through an order by the judge, by the Cape High Court, You guys say in the media, for instance, and we can't argue with you about it. DA, some of you is your darling. You say that, no, they have won. And that, you give this narrative that they have not just won. Now, you relate to the court order and say that government is being instructed. Whereas this is an undertaking to an undertaking. When the minister announced that he's withdrawing, and then it meant the court outcome itself was moot. And therefore, there was no need to continue arguing in courts about this particular matter. So then there had to be an out-of-court settlement, which is what we have understood has actually happened. By that time, a decision had already been taken. And then it is argued that it happened because government was losing in court, which is incorrect. And if you look at this, it is argued that it happened because government was losing in court, which is incorrect. And if you look at this particular point, what did I say? Part of them. Devolution, concessions, Durban and Cape Town. Who's that young man? Let me respect him, Deputy Minister. He must be given more powers. We said, and then let's discuss the budget spending review. We said these issues are on the agenda, we can resolve them beyond the budget. This cannot stop the passing of the budget. Those are the issues that were before us. We went and met with the EFF, and they even met next to the toilets with our leadership in Cape Town. Yeah, next to the toilets there, with where the Deputy President and Mdu. Mdu is here, right? They met with them. We asked them, which is correct. Mr. Malema is right. Which is correct, that Mr. Malema in that meeting, we said to them, abstain if you are opposed. If you say that the DA is a problem. They said to the ANC, dismiss the DA and the Freedom Front Plus. We can consider that. That was the first phase. The second one, we went to meet in a meeting, face to face. They came with their expert on budget. Some guy they've employed, face to face. They came with their expert on budget. Some guy they've employed. First, we engage. So it's a new uncharted terrain that we're going to engage with. So they came to us, and then they said to us at the end, summarized, it's not a gossip, and they've said it even in public. The EFF, they said that, no, we want remove the DA and so on and so. That is simplistic, that can be done. In fact, it's not of interest. The question is the budget. And then they did not engage with us about the budget in terms of what they want, because if you look at the budget and the issues we have raised even in our statement here today, you will realize what we're talking about. Zugo have explained SRD in terms of a mean test policy. It is not something that was thumb-sucked. But the ANC doesn't end there. It says we implement this with a view of transitioning to a basic income grant. I mean, I think by all standards in the world, we are the biggest country that is praised for a very comprehensive social security net. It doesn't start now. It started right from 1994 in terms of our approach to this. The fact that our economy is not performing and we are producing more and more unemployment and inequality, we are unable to deal with it. It's a challenge that we need to deal with in terms of the state of the South African economy. And then, so I'm saying the scathing part by the DA does not exist. We are not into this thing because the DA was scathing against us and that they are about to claim what is right and that they fought for the poor and all of that. No. This budget to us has been the budget that is pro-poor. The only thing you take out of that budget and you argue with us is VAT increase to 0.5%. Even that 0.5% was about to address the inequalities we are faced with. Go and look at the budget. And it was circulated, not leaked. At least you've got it in your archives. So we can all read about it. And lastly, City Press, victory. When was the ANC going to listen to the public outcry? The ANC listens to the people every day, and that is why this budget was reflective of the people's interest. Come and argue with us after you have read the budget that it is not in the people's interest. Here is a fact. We have been presenting austerity measures. These political parties, you are heaping praises. Ne? They criticize government. They say you don't fund military and defense force is weak, is underfunded. Where is the money going to come from? If you implement austerity measures, how is the defense force going to be equipped? Where is the money going to come from? They heap those things all the time. Immediately when we cut on the basic needs, teachers don't increase. Health workers and all of those things do happen. They are going to come back to this ANC government and say, look at what this government is doing to you. Is this austerity measures and all of that. That's what they are going to say. So we have come to accept that people who don't govern have got less responsibility and they can make all sorts of claims. We are not in a fashion parade with them. They can claim victories and everything else. We are not at war with them. They can. What we are presenting to you is the truth, which you will remember even tomorrow. It's not fake news. We are presenting to you the news, and we are telling you the truth that we are in uncharted waters, and this uncharted waters means that we must negotiate better with political parties around the issue of the budget. Continue to talk with all parties, including the DA. We'll continue to talk with all political parties, including the EFF, and then we'll continue to talk to all political parties, if primarily those who have actually supported us. Last point you have raised, you have counted the numbers. Of course, we have explained that if the DA leaves, we'll be prepared to work with everybody. But one thing that we know is that you cannot, in every option you've got, GNU, Grand Coalition, and all of that constitute government without the ANC. And the ANC have opposed them. And that is what they seek to do in this arrangement that we have. And we'll oppose that. Thank you.